Niwaambie nisiwaambie?
The president has every intent.
Parliament wamejam completely. Ni wakati wa kutambua siri za Rais William Samoei Arap Ruto. Because now William Ruto mwenyewe ameamua kugonga nyoka mkia. Unajua kigonga nyoka mkia guys, lazima itakurukia ikuume. So now William Ruto amegonga parliament. I can tell you, hama jamaa wamejam. And I don't want to talk much guys. Nataka ujione jinsi ambavyo mambo yamechemuka pale. Ni wakati wa kutambua siri za Rais William Samoei Arap Ruto. But ensure my like na nasema thanks for your great support. Hawa watu wameona kwamba hapana, tunaenda kulemewa na tumekuwa tukitetea hii government kuanzia kitambo up to now, then jamaa anatugeuka. Kumechemuka. Sikia kwanza hii kisha tusikize parliament.
If indeed there's corruption in parliament, that there are welfare chairpersons who get resources for members of committees to pass certain motions or certain decisions, how does it manifest?
Yeah, thank you, Sam. First, let me just say that when we are doing these shows, I think Sige should come alone. Because Senator Sige will spend an hour making a point that he can make in actually a minute or two. Because he's taken us round in circles and taken away all our time.
To be here.
But then, on this matter, I think it's important to note that, you know, yes, there are two ways by which members are coerced. One is through intimidation, and I do believe that there is definitely money that changes hands to influence decisions that are done on the floor of the House. And somehow say this, it's not a new phenomenon, it's always been there. It's been there from the time I was elected. I've seen that happen over the years. And I'll tell you, for you to know that this thing is real, you look at a situation where members of parliament, someone is elected, and is elected as a member of Azimio political party, and within a week of the announcement of a new president, he's already going to State House, totally against the party that brought him to the House. Again, many times you see people voting in support of motions that their own constituents are totally against, like the finance bill of 2023. I mean, that was a time when we are grappling with the high cost of living, and Kenyans were out in the streets with sufurias on their heads. But then there were members who were very comfortable saying that we are passing this thing that was going to, deal a very deadly blow on the cost of living and on, disposable income of Kenyans. And the tax regime was actually going to mess us up, all of us. But despite the general public's, clear indication that they were not in support, members still voted in its support on the floor of the House. So basically, there are those that are coerced because they're intimidated, they'll be thrown out of committees, but there's also a change of, money changes hands. Sam, I said it's not a phenomenon that is unique to this parliament. I was in the 11th parliament from 2013 to 2017. And in that parliament, we actually, as members of parliament, disbanded the Budget and Appropriations Committee on allegations of, inappropriate action by the members of that committee. We also disbanded the Public Accounts Committee, then chaired by the Honorable Babu Namwamba. Right. And it was on the same allegations that money, they were extorting money from witnesses that were coming, and people that had been named by the Auditor General. So basically, this phenomena has been there. Last parliament, you remember the Honorable Fatuma Gedi talked about brown envelopes changing hands in the toilets. So it's not a unique phenomenon. It's something that's been around for a while. And the president was a deputy president all that period that I was in parliament seeing this happening. Yep. I don't know why suddenly now he's seen the light, and suddenly he's saying parliament is corrupt. Just recently, we had this impeachment motion against the former deputy president. And money did change hands. People were paid to sign.
How much was it?
100, 200,000.
For the signature?
Yes, for the signature. And those who voted were also given money. This is 100, 200,000. There are many members who actually got money. So the only thing is that they will not agree to it, but we know that they were given money.
Signature was 100 to 200,000.
Yes, actually, the signature was 100,000. But some members were clever. They signed at the majority leader's office and went to the minority leader's office and signed again, so they got twice. But all the same, what I'm saying is that actually money did change hands. Some of these things that we are pretending are real. And sometimes, like Honorable Senator Sige said, let's be honest, it is true that money does change hands in Parliament. But now, I think what has happened, where the problem is that the decisions that have been through coercion and bribery that have been taken by members of parliament in this current 13th parliament have been very unpopular with the populace. And so very many of them are highly unpopular right now. And I'll tell you some that even these empowerment programs, some of them are being used to be able to take members to their constituents because they couldn't even get there because of the problem that this coercion and this bribery has caused on them. Because you make...
So the empowerment is for the MP?
Is to make them be able... Some of it is to make these members go back to their constituencies.
Yeah.
Because after the 2023 and 2024 finance bill, remember what happened in Moranga after the 2023 finance bill, when members even went and said, no, this is not what we passed. But we on the floor of the House told them, this thing is going to hurt your people, and they refused to listen. Okay. So some now, what I was saying is this, that after, what I'm reading in all this is that the president is aware that he has made a lot of his members of parliament extremely unpopular. And that, some of them, their re-election chances are very low. Yeah. So what does he do? He throws them under the bus. This is something he's done in the past. In 2024, when the Gen Zs go to the streets, he threw them under the bus when he threw away the bill and pretended that he's listened to the people. Yet the voters, the voters in the floor who are members of parliament were also listening, but they couldn't take the right decision. So he's throwing members under the bus by calling them corrupt, so that he can now start maybe winning those that are opposing them in their constituencies. That is what he's doing. That is definitely a game plan for the current president, so that he can have people that support him in the next election.
Sorry, I'll get to Dr. Masara, but Mheshimiwa, you said that signature was 100 to 200,000. Sure. To impeach, what was the range?
No, the vote, I think after you vote, there was some money also that was changing hands.
Because yesterday I was told about 10 million shillings for Senate.
Wow, that's no, I don't think National Assembly, they are that expensive. The rates are lower. The rates are much lower.
I want that person to be named so that I can collect mine. Because now it is official.
But it's a bribe. Why would you want?
No, not a bribe. It's no longer a bribe now. If somebody went to wherever I took the money and used my name to get that money and is arrested, I'll go to court and demand for my share.
You go to court to demand a share of bribe?
Yes. I want that money back to me so that I can return it to central bank.
Where does it have to come through you? Just go to the
No, I want to be clean. You know, Sam, I'm so surprised by my brother and leader Mbui. If Mbui was aware, and he's my friend, we usually meet at the health club. If people were signing and given 100, why didn't you tell me to take that 100? Because personally, I signed and voted so that the former deputy president to be impeached because of one reason. One, he was dividing the country. Two, he was talking about shares. And the shares of this country were given to every individual who was born, who acquired.
But are you concerned that actually there's a possibility your colleagues received money to sign and eventually...
No, that's why the NADCO report is talking about limiting what is called corruption. That's why when these people were getting money, the anti-corruption was functional. Every other person was functional, but this money was still being taken. That's why I want Zani committee. That's why I want Zani committee.
Surely, Zani will not come to parliament.
No. We with the commissioners of IBC, we cannot have a plenary where we can give them our views.
The question I'm asking is, Mheshimiwa Dr. Masara, are you concerned that your colleagues might actually be taking money?
Not only my colleague, I'm concerned about corruption in Kenya.
No, please stop.
These MPs are Kenyans. We should not take MPs as outsiders. All of us as patriotic Kenya should be concerned about the level of corruption in this country. And I'm very happy.
So how do you cause change?
I'm very happy. I'm very happy.
Yeah.
If you look candidly at the body language of the president yesterday, he's fed up with corruption. Somebody was talking of those who are dirty. My friend, when it comes to issue of faith, Jesus himself met a woman at a well. That woman was a prostitute. But because he confessed her sin, her name was written in the Bible. Somebody was yesterday a sinner, Today it can be somebody clean.
A saint.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Anybody. But what my concern is where the corruption level has reached in Kenya. I'm happy that number one, the consumer of intelligent, raw intelligence is going to arrest people. I'm very happy, man.
But you know he can't.
No, he'll arrest.
He can't.
If yesterday he can't,
no power to arrest.
Let me tell you why I'm telling you he's going to arrest. If you look at William Ruto, the deputy president, was very popular with MPs. But if you were there yesterday, or you have been watching William Ruto of today and telling MPs, actually at a given point, actually you are very selective. There's a point where Raila and Ruto talked of even if they are going to carry the cross, even if it means one term, but they must change the face of this country. They gave us example of Singapore and Malaysia. It's not about they got money from heaven. It was about leadership. Yep. And at a given point, some leaders decided to change the path. We have been walking this path from 1960. Yeah. Now, if the president has said this time around is going to arrest, the best we can do is to support him.
And after that...
And believe and give him benefit of doubt.
And after that was a joint communique.
A joint communique. Can we clear about the... is communicate part of corruption?
No, I'm asking.
It is not. Let us, you have advised us, colleague.
You're describing it yourself.
Personally, I was there until the end, and even I took tea.
And lunch.
And there was a joint communique?
Yes.
By who?
Yeah.
By the people concerned. I was not part of it.
The leaders. The president yesterday, and I'm very happy the president spoke about it, because the moment the president of the republic speaks about corruption in the manner and the tone that he did yesterday, it tells us that we need to change the way we do these things. And therefore, the comments he made yesterday and the statement made by my colleagues in Tadulo, and by the way, I was in the house that day because it was an ongoing motion. Yeah. And the president went ahead and said that I'm a consumer of raw intelligence. He has said it. I am not, unfortunately. So I do not know. He probably knows I don't know. What I would say is this. I voted to impeach Governor Guyo myself. Because the allegations that were against him, to me, were sufficiently proved to warrant an impeachment. Of course, as we say, the stupidity of democracy is that the majority will have their way, the minority will have their say. As to whether or not then 150 million change hands, well, it's something that's out there. If indeed it happened, the president said yesterday, we're going to arrest them, and so we shall wait and see. From where I sit, myself, I mean, myself, and probably those close people I know, I can attest to the fact that we did not get to that amount of 150 million, or we received, whether it's 10 million or whatever amount.
You didn't get to that amount? I
did not get it to myself, yes. And probably also the cycle of the people I know. You know your friends. I know Wandeto here is a colleague sitting in the National Assembly. In the Senate, I would speak for myself and say, look, if the president is a consumer of raw data and raw intelligence, I will not want to go beyond that, because I'm not a consumer of that bit. But I want to say I did not get that money, and
But was there a narrative that money was exchanging hands?
Yeah, of course, my colleague actually alleged that on the floor. That's why the speaker told her.
Fatma Dulo?
Yes. Yeah, actually she did that.
No, beyond Fatma Dulo, did you hear senators speaking of receiving money?
We had we had conversations about it. We had conversations about what yesterday now my colleague Honorable Junaid Mohammed and the leader of majority were saying in the context of bribery claims in Parliament. It is unfair and unfortunate to condemn the entirety of the House. Otherwise, I chair a committee, and I chair a committee. In my committee, I do not have a welfare chairperson. We've got the chairperson of Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights Committee. That's myself.
Maybe you don't know.
We do not.
Maybe you don't know.
I would know from my stakeholders.
Now, the president said that their members will go and get money, but they never deliver to the members. You might be one of those unfortunate...
He's the chair of the welfare committee.
I just want to say I do not have a welfare chairperson.
Are you the welfare committee?
I'm not the chairperson. But I'm a chairman of a committee.
I'm imputing proper motive on a colleague.
And therefore, no, it's okay, because as I said, we need to be very candid in this conversation because corruption is killing Kenya. Us in the Senate, we fight. Yesterday and every other day, we always say we fight to enhance the money that goes on to the county governments.
Yeah.
But the projects that we see and visible, for that matter, quality projects done are on the CDF money, none from the county government allocation of resources. And it is because of corruption.
Okay.
So it is conversation.
That's okay. Let me hear from...
I know how difficult it is for the committee report to be amended. We do these reports with Secretariat. We have to do the right thing. We would like to know who this is. Honourable Speaker, the report was given from raw information, intelligence. So the person who was given the money is known. And the reasons why the person was given the money is also known. Honourable Speaker, as members of parliament, we need to be cleansed from this. We have suffered a lot as parliamentarians. There has been so much that we are supporting the executive, and this is what we can get in return. Honourable Speaker, since they are known, for us to be cleansed, they need to be named. The reasons why the money was given also needs to be brought to this house so that members of parliament can be cleansed. Out there, we have a very bad name for supporting the executive. But we are supporting the executive because we would like the plan to go through. We would like the government to succeed. But, Honourable Speaker, if there is a problem in this house concerning members, I think it should be brought to the fore so that members can know. Honourable Speaker, since last week, when the pronouncement was made in the devolution conference, we have suffered once more. We suffered after passing the finance bill. We suffered after the broadening of the government. We suffered again after sacking of some members of the CSs, some executive. We've suffered many times. And this is what you are getting in return. It is unfair. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Karole Omondi.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. I'll try and be very brief, but let me start by saying I take great exception as the statements made by His Excellency the President, now 3 times, attacking the character of everyone in this House, including yourself. We must now take the position of NATO. Mass character assassination we shall not accept. If somebody is guilty, let them be charged on their own. But an attack such as the one that was, he's made it twice, 3 times. First at the stock exchange,